For more, I'm pleased to be joined by Democratic pollster Margie Omero and MSNBC political analyst and author Jonathan Alter. Margie, how much will this affect Liz Cheney's chances, especially when she's already trailing Senator Mike Enzi by, I think, double digits?
She may be looking at polls that show that a majority of primary voters in Wyoming are against same-sex marriage. That may be true. And she is facing a $140,000 ad by calling her out for her views. The problem for her is that the main objection to Liz Cheney is not her views necessarily, but that she is seen as a political opportunist, that she's seen as running simply because she wants to be in the Senate, not because there's a real difference between her and Mike Enzi on key issues. And when you add to that this sense that she is now looking at her views on gay marriage as a political opportunity, she's using this for political gains. She's not necessarily her own view and disagreeing with her family and causing family strife. It certainly doesn't help her seem less like a political opportunist. And that's where I think we're going to have a real problem for her.
Okay. John, Mary Cheney is specifically saying that this is not an issue where you're able to agree or disagree. She's suggesting it's a moral issue. But isn't that exactly the same point that Liz Cheney's making about the same issue? They're approaching this as moral absolutes collision.
Yeah, and, you know, the rest of us get to watch this family, you know, dissolution, and it's kind of sad, especially if you're the parents, but it grows out of political opportunism, and what it does is it reinforces that she's a carpetbagger. You know, she's not really from Wyoming. Yes, her father represented it in the House, but she has lived in Virginia until 5 minutes ago. She moves into the state in a very arrogant way, in a very entitled way, and then she trims her positions in order to try to win a primary. It's so transparent. She's already down by more than 50 points against Mike Enzi. After this, it'll probably be closer to 60 points. These kinds of candidates don't win. Now, is it impossible for her to come back to win the primary? No. Things change in politics. But right now, in an extraordinarily self-destructive way, she's both hurt her position in her family and hurt herself politically. So any reputation she had for being smart is really in jeopardy right now.
Margie, part of Liz Cheney's campaign against the older Mike Enzi is that she's running to be a new generation of leader. Out with the old, in with the new. But when even your conservative father supports same-sex marriage, is there anything really fresh or new about her stance?
No, this issue is probably the fastest moving social issue that really anybody's ever seen. I mean, I was looking at state-by-state breakouts on gay marriage, and in Wyoming, the support for gay marriage has doubled since about not even 10 years ago, doubled. And we don't even know where it's going to be by the time the primary is held. That's how fast moving this issue is. And there may be some sense that there's a short-term gain here, but the long view is that, and even the medium view, is that Republicans, even Republican primary voters, are not going to be against gay marriage down the road. And it's a shame to put aside your own family and the future of the Republican Party. That a lot of leaders say we need to evolve on this issue in order to have a job that some would say, hey, if I have to upset my family for this, maybe I don't want this job.
And also, I mean, it's just pure pandering. You know, it's being done at Dick Cheney's direction. I mean, he's the one who, you know, really wants this for his daughter. He's had a more enlightened position for years. So what he had to do here, I'm sure he signed off on this. He should have told her, look, you know, if you lose the primary over this, which she wouldn't have, by the way, it's not worth hurting our family. They're not even going to be able to get together for Christmas. Mary Cheney announced that she's not going to Jackson Hole for Christmas this year. Meanwhile, Lynn Cheney is in this huge fight with Alan Simpson. Wyoming politics is looking like Chicago politics, or maybe Toronto politics, right?
Please no. Jonathan Alter and Margie Omero, thank you so much. And we'll be back with the latest